So I'm going to show you how to create a navigation bar animation. So that navigation bar animation is something like this. This is how it is here. So yes, this is how the navigation bar animation is. So just observe the movement of the icons and the animations. So this is how we're going to do it. I created a new page for it. So I'll have my rectangle first, then inside my frame first, not my rectangle. So inside that frame I'm going to create a rectangle here to measure the size of that frame. So I'll draw a rectangle like this. Yeah, just have something like this. So this rectangle I'm going to be using it to create a navigation bar. So after creating a rectangle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle inside. I'll grab my ellipse tool and draw a circle inside here, just like this. So I'm going to change the circle to white. Make sure it's in the front of the rectangle. Do you understand? So I'm going to duplicate that circle into 4 places. So let me ensure that 4 of it can enter inside this rectangle. So it can fit in perfectly. So I think I will still reduce it. I will still increase the size. I will increase the size a bit. Then we'll try it again. So it fits in perfectly. So what I'm going to do is we double click on that circle so that we can distort it. Double click on it like this. Then I'll zoom in well so that you can see the anchor point. Once you double click on it here, you're going to see 4 anchor points here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll click on the first one here. You're going to have this line. You're going to drag this line a bit like this till you get to the center here. You see one red line showing there. So I want it widened up like this. You click on the other anchor point. The exact same thing you did here is what you do to this anchor point here. Click on this anchor point, then drag it a bit like this so that you have something like this. Then click on it to remove the anchor point there. So this is what I have here. So the reason why I made this circle that we distorted white is because I wanted it to blend in with this background here. This background here was seen. So if I should change the color of this frame to gray like this, can you see that white circle is showing? So it will blend in. If I want it now to blend in the way it is now, I have to change the circle here to the color of this background. That one blended in like this. So that is a trick for you to get this animation here. So just know that this is the background of this circle here that you distorted, that you're changing to get that camouflage effect. So now nobody will know that there's a circle here. Everybody will think this is just an opening here. You understand? So it has to be the same color with the background. So I'm going to change it back to white and change the color of this background back to white like this. So what I'm going to do is I still want to check. Let me widen it up a bit like this. So I still want to check if 4 can fit in. You know, everything we're doing, we're working with measurements here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll reduce it a bit, shift it to the extreme. shift it to the extreme a bit, then still check it again. 2, 3, 4. So at this stage you can see that everything can fit inside it here. So why I counted 4 is because we're going to be making use of 4 icons. If you're making use of 5 icons, you test it 5 times. If you're making use of 3, you test it 3 times. Ensure that everything fits in perfectly so that when you create your design, now what I'm going to do is, while I'm creating that, when I'm making my icons, I'm increasing my icons depending on how this circle is. You understand? So if I bring in my icons now, I'll have to use this circle to determine the size of that icon, whether it's going to be very big or whether it's going to be very, very small. You understand? So that's what I'm going to do here. So another thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw a circle inside. I'm going to draw a circle inside this other circle here. So that it will give me something like this. The circle inside the circle. So I'll just adjust this a bit. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take this circle that we distorted, that one at the back, select this other circle, both of them, and I'll group both of them. Ctrl G like this, so that it is one group. While I'm moving it, it is one group that is moving. Yeah. So I'll have this first group here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of this gray, this gray color inside here. I'm going to change the color to the color that I want. So I want a dark green color like this. So I'll use something like this. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to now bring out my icons. I'll go to Iconify, Iconify, not logo it soon. Just wait for it to open up. So, but just remember that everything you're doing, you're working with measurements. You can see I was measuring, I first of all measured my rectangle inside the frame to ensure that that rectangle is the size of that frame. If you start designing outside the frame without measuring it, when you now bring it inside the frame, you now find that maybe it's too big or it is too small. You now have to start scaling it up and it may spoil the design. So you have to measure it first. After that one, I now measure the circle, whether it can fit in 4 times inside that frame, inside that rectangle, I mean. So you measure the circle. After measuring the circle, you distort it. After distorting it, you still widen it up a bit and measure if it could fit inside that shape. You understand? So we're working with measurements. It's very important when designing. So I can now remove this the whole design now that I made. I can remove it out now and design everything outside the frame. After designing it, I can now bring it inside here. So I'm going to have, I already have profile. I'm going to bring out, I told you we're going to be making use of 2 icons. One icon for the active state and one for inactive state. So the one for inactive state is going to be having a stroke like this. And the one for active state is going to be filled up like this. You get that? So I'll bring out one from here. Let me bring out this one here for the inactive and bring out this one for active, seeing that they look alike. So I'll search for another icon, something like home. So I'll bring out you can see these two homes here. This is the one for inactive and this is the one for active, and they look alike, so I'll bring them out this way. I have for home, I will look for cat. I have an active state for cat here and an inactive state for cat here. I'll bring out the both of them. Then I also have setting. So I'll look for an active state for setting. I can use these two I see here. I can bring out this active and an inactive like this. So I already have 4 pairs here. I have a pair for these two for profile. I'll just arrange the both of them this way. Arrange everything. I'll just arrange everything like this. So after arranging it, the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to make each of them component sets. So this is going to have a separate component set. This will have a separate component set. This will have a separate component set together with this one. So this is what we're going to do. Select 2 at first. Come over here, create component sets. Select 2 here. These 2. Create component sets. Select this other 2. We're going to give all of them spacing so that they can breathe. Create a component set, select this other 2 and create a component set like this. So I'll select everything and just give it a spacing like this and drag it down. So what we're going to do at this stage, we're going to create an active and inactive state for both of them. So I have this component set here. So I told you that when you can now allocate an active and inactive state to 2 elements, is those 2 elements, which is the active and inactive state, have to be in a component set. So I have a component set like this. The only thing I do is I click on this active state, come over here where you see property, come over here and change the name to active, just like this. Enter. Then the second one here is inactive. So the reason why I'm creating an active state and an inactive state for both of them is so that I can be able to switch from one state to another state. So I have this. I'll go over to this and do the same thing, change this to active. Then change this one to inactive. Then I also have this one, I'll change it to active. And I'll change this one to inactive. Then I'll do the same for the last icon, active, and then inactive. Inactive. Yeah. So now I've created the active state and inactive state for them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring their instances into this frame, just like this. I'll select everything. So I want to use auto layout now. Sorry, I think this came out of the frame. So I'll bring the instance again like this. Yeah, so I'm going to select everything. I just want to use auto layout to give them equal spacing. So Shift A, put them in auto layout. Make sure it's on auto so that I can responsively drag it like this. So I can space them up like this. Yeah. So while in auto layout, I'll just change their position. I want the home to be the first icon, the profile should be the last here, and cart and this one should be here. So this is fine. I'll just remove them from auto layout. Remove auto layout and ungroup them like this. So I just want them to be separate like this. I just use auto layout to give them equal spacing and create their positions here. So this is how I want them positioned. I want to change the color to white. What do? I want to change the color of these icons to white. Go to the main components. So I'll change the main components. So I'll just select everything like this and change it to white, just like this. So it has reflected in the instances here. This is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on home and push it up to that circle here. Make sure that it's in the center of the circle. Do you see what I did? Now I'll bring out my text and create a text right here. Right home. So I'm now creating text for the icons. So I have a home text here. So now what we're going to do is, this is how I want my home text to be positioned. Yeah. So that means the other text, while I'm bringing them up, I have to bring them up to the position of the home so that it will align on this same position. So I'll create the text also for these other icons here. Control D. Get this one up here. And get this one up here like this. So I'll change this to carts. And then I'll change this one to settings. Then this should be profile. Profile, yeah. So I have all of them like this. Gradually, we are almost done. So I want my main icon here. This one. So I just want the main icon here, the active icon. I want it to be another color, just for design. So I'll come here on all the active states here. I'll change their color. Select all the active states. You hold on shift while selecting. That was how I'm able to select all of them. And change the active color. Let's look for something like this. The shout color. Something like this. So I have this, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'll select everything. Make sure everything is selected. Bring them out and create a frame selection. Create a frame selection here so that it all becomes one frame. Then I'll select the whole text and send them inside. So I sent them inside, but they are not entering inside because the frame is not on clip content. So you're going to select that frame and clip the content here so that I won't see the text again. And now that I have that, I can change all these ones here. I can change their, okay, I have to change them individually. I'll change them to the inactive state. Come over to property and change it to inactive. Select this one, change it to inactive. Select this and change it to inactive. So at the same time, if you feel like your icons are too small, you want to increase it. You increase it, but where are you increasing it from? Main components. Exactly. So I have this. Then what I'm going to do again now is to create a component, create an instance. I'm going to be having 4 instances here. So now that I have 4 instances, can you see that all of them are in all the whole instance variants? I mean, not instances. These are called variants. So now that I have 4 variants, each of the variants is only home that is active here, and I want cat to be active here. Settings should be active here, and profile should be active here. That is why I'm going to be changing their states. I'll go over to this one, select that group that we created, 2 circles, then move it to where you have cat, like this. So now that I've moved it, I'll pick the cat icon and shift it inside that circle till you get to the center. So just align it in the center like this. Then bring this home icon downwards. Make sure it aligns with the other icons. So I'm going to look for the text for cat, which is this one here. You're going to use your layer panel to find cat. Bring it up. Make sure it aligns with the home text. So it has aligned with this home text. I can now push the home text inside because I've already gotten the alignment. I just use it to align the cat text. Push it back inside and change active state of home to the inactive state. Just like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make cat here active. So as simple as that was, we're going to do the same thing to the other. Yeah. Yes, it's click content. The group. I did not clip the home. I didn't clip it because that was the active state. I needed to see it here. The second one now, it entered inside because the frame is on clip content. That is why other texts are not showing. Setting is not showing. Profile is not showing. I pushed it inside that frame. If the frame was not on clip content, as I push the home text inside the frame, it's going to be showing outside alongside the other text here. That is why I have this on clip content. You get it now. So cat is the one that is active. That is why we're seeing cat text here. So we're going to do the same for the other icons. Click on this frame, select this group here, push these 2 groups we created to settings, because now we want settings to be active. So I have this, and I'm going to click on this one, the settings icon, and push it inside. Push it inside like this. Make sure it's at the center. Yeah. So I'm going to bring out the text for setting. Look for it on your layers panel here. So once you click on it on your layers panel, you push it inside. Make sure it aligns with the home text. Yes. So for you to align it, sometimes shift may push it up higher than the other text you want to align it with. So you can now remove your hand from shift. When you remove your hand from shift, while you're just pushing it up, it will move it small. So you're using shift to make it move faster. If you want it to be slower, you remove your hand from shift and use your normal arrow key to align it. So it's okay like that. I can just align it in the center this way. Then I'm going to change the active state of this to active. Bring back home icon. So at this stage you can push the home text inside that frame that is on clip content. Then bring this icon down to align with the other icons. Now that it has aligned, you change it to inactive. So we're going to do the same for the last icon, setting and profile, I mean. Get this here. Push the profile icon inside here. Make sure it is in the center. There. So we look for the profile text. Push it inside. Then we can now push the home text inside the frame and then bring down the home icon. Then change it to inactive. Like that. So we're going to change the active state of the profile to active. So what we can do now is we can start prototyping. We're going to head over to our prototype. So first of all, we're going to select the home icon. Go to select matching layers. Select matching layers and go to prototype. Okay, we're going to deselect the active state. You're going to hold on shift and deselect the active state here. Then go to prototype and then connect the wires of all the inactive state of the home to the active state, so that whenever we click on home, it will take us to this active state here. Select matching layers. So this is what I did here. When I click on home, I went to select matching layers. Select matching layers will select every other layer that is matching it. That is why I selected all these other home icons here. So to deselect the active one here, because we don't want to tap on this active one, hold on shift and just click on it once. It will deselect. So now that it has deselected, we now have these three selected, which is what we want. Go to prototype and connect the wire of the three inactive home here. Connect it to the active frame here. So now we have this. It should be on tap, Smart Animate, Gen 2 and 800 here. So we're going to do the exact same thing for the other icons. Click on this icon here, select matching layers, deselect the active layer here, which is this one. We don't want to tap on it. Go to prototype and connect the wire to the active frame. On tap, Smart Animate, Gen 2. So we're going to continue. Select this setting, select matching layers, deselect the active one, go to prototype and connect the wire to the active frame here. That is how it's going to be. Do the same for the last icon. Which of the charts? This one? The cat. The prototyping, not prototyping. So let's check it. It's correct now. So the cat is meant to go to this one. So where's the mistake? You said I made an error. Where's the mistake?
I thought that cat
It's going to the cat is going to the cart now. Look at if I click on the inactive cart, it's taking me to where? This active one here. Look at the wire. It's taking me to the active cart, which is this one. If I click on this other cart here, it's taking me to where? The active cart. If I click on this cart here, where is it taking me to? the active card. So there was no mistake there. So I'm going to click on setting, select matching layers, deselect this one, click on it, select matching layers, deselect this one, go to prototype, connect the wire to the active frame here. Select profile, select matching layers, deselect the profile, the active one, then go to prototype and connect the wires to the active profile. Untap Smart Animate Gen 2. So at this stage we can now test our prototype. We're going to bring out an instance of this first one, put it in your frame, align it very well, then test it. So if you look at it now, what we have here is what is on the first variant here. So that means while I click on any of these buttons, it will take me to their active state here. So I have settings here. If I should click on the settings here, which is this one, it's taking me over to this one here. And while I'm in settings, any other inactive icon I click on here will take me to the active state. So that is what I have here.
Sir, I have a problem with the profile.
Yeah.
Why trying to work on it?
The profile.
Yes, the profile icon. I selected the active state and inactive. I'm talking about the icon itself. Then when trying to, when I wanted to group them like say component set, one of the inactive icon of that profile, the profile inactive icon was in group.
Was in a group.
Yes, but I wasn't the one that put it there. So when I went and ungrouped it, I discovered that that dot cycle, that's like the head, is different from the body.
Yes, now you know most icons are designed separately. Some icons now they are designed separately. Like that profile icon, it has the head and the body. Yeah. So some designers, after designing it, they will not flatten it. When I mean flatten is to make it one unit so that it won't be separating. So when you're working with icons, if you bring out an icon, it will show you vector. Just like I let me check an icon. Let's say I bring out the profile icon. So let's say I get a profile icon like this. So I'll zoom in very well. So this is what you mean. It was a group. If you open that group, you see vector here and vector here. So it was designed separately. This vector is for this circle here. Then this one is for this body here. I can click on this one and remove it out like this. I can click on this one and remove it out like this separately. I still have this frame here. You understand what I mean? So the reason why this designer grouped it is because after designing it, he decided to group it to make it one element. Do you understand what I mean? The person grouped it to make it one element. So you now, what you're just going to be doing is you're just going to be working with only this frame. The group is inside the frame like this. Your own job now is to just work with the frame. There's no need removing that frame or ungrouping it. Except there's a reason why you're ungrouping it. But you don't need to ungroup it. So just make use of the frame the way it is like this. So there are some vectors, there are some icons that when you bring them out, they don't have a frame. They are just vectors individually like that. What you have to do is you click on it. So let me bring out this two. Let me bring out this group here. I will ungroup it. So while I've ungrouped it now, both of them are separate. They are not one unit again. So this is what I'll do. Just have both of them like that. Most times all you do is select the two vectors, right click on it and flatten. You see this flatten here? Flatten it like that. This flatten will make two of it's like gum. That flatten will make two of them to be one unit. So now that I've flattened it now, you can see that I can move it now like this. So if you don't want to flatten it, you can also use group selection, group it, or you can use frame selection to put it in a frame. Anything that you can do to make that icon together, you now need to do it like that. But in this case, it's like you're the one that use your hand to locate that group. There's no need. Just use it the way it is. Use it with that frame that is holding it like that. So if you notice, most of the times if I get my icons, I don't ungroup it.
Yes,
I don't use to
I
ungroup
noticed
it.
it.
I just use them.
I don't think you ever remove anyone.
I don't remove anyone. The way it is inside there, that is why those designers design it like that. If you don't like the icon that you picked, you can look for another icon. You understand that? So it's just up to you. Okay, but me, I hardly ungroup my icons. I use them like that. If I like the icon and it's still separated, then I'll group both of them or I'll flatten both of them. So I want you guys to work on this. This thing. I want you guys to first of all get this one, the navigation bar. Network.
So we are using this like exploring.